Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sheldon from Shell Rock Art, and I'm still in the process of using up some old paints. So again, I am working with these sample pieces from Home Depot to make some coasters. And what I'm going to do, I made up another cell activator with the extra heavy gloss gel, and this one again has no Floetrol. It's just the gloss gel and water mixed with color art pigments. But I did learn something today. If the pigments are of a different grade, they won't mix as well together. And so I noticed that Pearl X powder is a little thinner, although it has a finer grade than the color art pigments. But the color art pigments has a lot of iridescence to it because of the, I guess because of the thicker grade, and it sparkles better. And it gives more of a sparkling iridescence as opposed to a pearlescent effect to it. So with the Pearl X powder though, I found that when you mix that with the interference powder, they're both the same grade. One's not coarser than the other. They're both the same grade as far as being a powder goes. And so they mix better, and it makes the color shift better. Whereas if you put interference powder in with the color art is more, and I'm gonna try it again one time, but next time I won't use interference powder, I'll use sparkle. I think sparkle and the color art powder, color art pigments are the same grade. So I'll use the sparkle to see if that gives me the color shift I'm looking for, as opposed to the interference. What happens is though, when you do use the interference, after it dries, you actually have a pigment on the outside, and then there's like a little crease of the interference in the center of that. It almost looks like a dual cell activator, even though it isn't. It's just the interference colors is not mixing as thoroughly through with the other pigments. But it makes a great cell activator regardless. So I'm going to make a couple of these tiles. I'm not going to hold you up any longer, but I'm just going to make four tiles, and I've been practicing my blowing, but this is the color that I'm using for the cell activator. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. All that shimmer to that. Plus, when the light hits it a certain way, it'll pick up some of the green interference. Not bright green, but it'll pick up some of the lighter green interference that's with it. So that's it right there. So this is what I'm using for cell activator. And it's not really thin. It's got a little bit of a slight trace to it, but it still makes great cells. That's why I like it. So let me get started. So I'm going to put a white pillow down, and I'll tell you each color as I'm layering it. So let me get a little bit of a pillow down. And I don't pre-spread the pillows on tiles because they're so small. Usually on a big canvas, I give it a spin first, but not with these. So this is I forgot what kind of green this was called. I told you I was gonna give you the colors, and I forgot what this one was called. But this is a Pearl X powder. But I think it's a spring green, I think. But it's kind of pale. It's not really strong. but that's what I'm using as a base. Then I'm gonna come with a more vibrant peacock feather from Color Art. I'm telling you where they're coming from so that you're interested in trying to obtain some, you know where to get it. This is a basic craft paint. I believe it's apple barrel yellow, just a basic yellow. This is gold from Artist Loft. All of my paints use the Bloom recipe pouring medium of 2 parts of untinted house paint, deep base or base C, with 1 part Minwax polyacrylic clear varnish. Just a little bit of this dark. I call it dark because I had violet in there, and I put another color purple in there, then I added black to it. It made this dark, well, it looks black still, but in some ways you can still see a slight touch of violet to it. And so that's my dark that's going to give me a backdrop for this ginger flower and green interference cell activator. So I'll put that right in the middle. Okay, let's blow this bad boy out. Right? Let that collect. Let me grab my straw. I'm going to open some of this up a little bit right here. Break the surface and open it up. It's funny, I always go grab my straw and I should just have it on hand already. All right, good. I made a nice flower cell in the middle of that. All right, well, let's spit it out. We'll have our first tile. It shouldn't take long because I don't need to let it collect for so much. Now, give that another whirl. And if you're wondering how I come up with these colors, sometimes I sit down and just test colors on these tiles, and I say, ooh, this is what I'm looking for right here. And then I'll stop. And I say, I need to make some, do some blooms with this. So this is one. And then I'll leave my spatula over there so I can pop it up. Sure did. So this is one here. Ooh, I love how that turned out. Look at the colors on that. Made some beautiful cells and lacing. And this is still, again, no Floetrol at all. This is just the pigments and the extra heavy gel gloss that I thin down with water. So this is one. I'm about to do three more. All right. Look at that. That's pretty in itself. Let me see if I can get a little closer. the way you can see what's going on. So I'll pop that right in the middle. We'll go again. Although sometimes these can seem a bit redundant, just remember, each one turns out differently. It gives me the opportunity to use up some old paint. And I don't know why I keep saying, oh, I'm gonna use all this old paint up. Then I end up mixing the same amount of paint over again. Because I got a new color to try out. And I have to keep them in order. If I don't keep them in order, I'll have the problem that I had the last time when one time I switched it up and the last two tiles turned out differently than the first two tiles. I mean, look at the consistency of that. That's not even watery at all, but it made some great cells that had some great structure to it. That's what I liked about it. They weren't watery cells. They actually had some body to it. You look at that. Look at how those cells just formed. That was one of my best blowouts yet. I always like doing a little puff with the straw in the middle. Almost creates a bloom within a bloom. Some refer to it as that. Some of the folks call them flower cells. I just like the way it looks. I didn't even give it a name. I just like the way it looks. All right, let's spin this bad boy out. Let it grow. Okay. And just so you know, because this is centrifugal force, it doesn't matter what direction I'm actually spinning this tile in, because it's still coming from the center out. So it's not like if you spin it another way, it's going to work its way back into something. No, it's going to stay the same way. So whether you spin it clockwise or counterclockwise, the result's going to be the same. Okay, so there's that. And the thing about those, should I decide not to glaze them, these things peel so easily, and they can give you whole pieces of the square that you could use for a skin. You could put or adhere it to a piece of cardstock or something. Put it in a picture frame. Here's one whole piece that I'm talking about. Look at that. That's a skin. It just flopped off of it. Now this one was a whole skin, but I made a mistake and tore it when I was moving it somewhere. But this was a whole skin too that I peeled off of one as I was testing it out. So even some of your test colors that you might like, let it dry, peel it off. And then you can use it for some jewelry, or again, you can put it on you can glue it to another piece of cardstock or paper or whatever. You can put it, and when you do that, you can use it as an inside of a greeting card and send it to somebody. You never know what you could do with it. Okay, number 3. We'll go with the same order. This is good practice for me because I remember when I first started trying to blow these things, I did horribly. I thought you had to blow so hard and try to get all the way out to the edge just to finally get some cells. Then I realized, no, you don't have to. This is about breaking up the surface. So I'm learning while you're learning. We're all learning. Yep, I probably got just enough of this yellow here for a last tile. Sometimes I add a little bit of whatever yellow I have left, I'll add to my gold just to give it more of a yellow hue to it. And I don't use too much of this because this is just to border the cell activator to give it a backdrop of contrast. All right, pick this baby up. Right, put you back down. Go to center with the straw. Now just blow it slowly until I start seeing these little bubble looking cracks. Then it comes back together. And it gives me these little flower looking cells, or a whole cluster of cells. And when I spin it out, it almost makes a flower. You put you back in the center, and let's go for it. Now I can spin this faster because it's a smaller tile too. With some of the larger canvases, I'm learning how to spin slow so I don't mess up my cell structure. The first one usually is enough of a spin, but I just sometimes go again just to make sure I got enough paint off the tile so that it doesn't crack on me when it dries. And that one there, and I have one more to do. And as you can see, these blooms are very sensitive as to how much paint you put on it. If you put too much of one color or one color as far as the other color goes, it can tend to take over. I was about to put a color down on it without putting my pillow down. So again, I'll go with some of the pillow paint. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is just Glidden Essentials, semi-gloss, white. That's it. I thin it down with a little bit of water to help it flow. H20, that's a wonderful compound to use. And it's generally free. Now, unless you don't consider your water bill, but water costs a whole lot less than Australian Floetrol. I don't have nothing against Australian Floetrol. Again, I just like to help save money for those who might have been impacted financially during this pandemic, and yet they can still have a great painting or something that they can find enjoyable to look at, or feel a measure of success and say, you know what, I made a bloom. These things aren't easy. Trust me, when I first started doing these things, I didn't know what I was doing. But I had a lot of help from many different artists, and I'm very thankful to them as well. So here's my last blow. That was interesting. Okay. And let me get this little thick area right here. I blew very hard right there, and it seems that really opened everything up. And then I blew hard here and got some pretty cool lacing. Well, that didn't do too much what I blew just now. So let's spin her out. Let me see how this grows out. It's starting to lighten up a little bit. A little bit. Okay, I think that's a pretty decent one. You never know how these things are going to turn out. I don't mind that little thick area right there. It's almost like negative space, but if negative space with color as opposed to black and white. But there you have it. I'm trying to get it out of the glare so you can see. Look at all that fine webbing in the center. That's why I blew it really hard. So yeah, I think the way this turned out was pretty good. So I'm gonna set this over here, and I'll be back to show you your final results. Okay folks, now I'm back, and these are the final results. I'm just going to show you all the ones that I just did. So this is the last one I just did. And then I did, I think, this one. And once again, this is the cell activator that has no Floetrol at all. There's that little flower cell in the middle that I blew out with the straw. And lastly, which was firstly, this one here. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I will be doing some flip cups soon. And I'm a chef as well, so on occasions you may see me do a few fruit carvings or some things with food or fruit art as well. Not too often, but just as a break in the monotony. So thank you for watching my channel again. This is Sheldon from Shell Rock Art, and happy pouring. Good night.